Hello my beautiful Hammerhead and welcome back to another Black Library review. Today we're having Lioness of the Parch, a Warhammer Age of Sigmar novel written by Evan Dicken, and I love this book. This is just straight out of the gun for you, because I had to help myself back to finish this book, which is a good sign, which sounds weird, but I like to finish a book right before I start recording these reviews, so everything is fresh, everything feels still in my mind, and it was really hard for me, because it's a really well written book. Also, I will already tell you this is a novel if you are interested in how does Hammerhal work. Not only Hammerhal Aksha on the Akshi side and Hammerhal Gyra on the Gyran side. We're focusing on Hammerhal Aksha, of course, mainly because she's the Lioness of the Parch. And you get to see her in politics, which feels weird because right at the beginning of the story, of her story, the prologue is something else. I'm gonna get to that in a moment. One of my favorite quotes in this book is, "Words shape air, deeds shape stone." Which, fine, yeah, but the more and more the story evolves, the more and more Thalia learns that, yeah, politics also shapes stone. And what do we do in politics? We talk until things happen. And I totally understand her frustrations. But okay, before we get to that, let me get to the story first. The prologue begins like any other Warhammer publication with a fight, and it's like, oh, the heretics, oh, the unbelievers, and the gods are so evil and blah blah blah. And we get basically rickrolled because we get to see these things from the perspective of the Dark Oath, and they're fighting against the cities of Sigmar, of course, and oh, they're evil and everything else like that. And we get to know the main antagonist. It's Ebonpire, it's his name, the Chaos Warlord of this group. And of course we have Chaos Warriors, we have Dark Oaths in there, and all the other chaosy Slaves to Darkness shenanigans, which is fine. We're not focusing on them because this is mainly a rivalry story between Ebonpire and Thalia Vedra. Then the main storyline begins with, of course, Thalia, and it's so good. Mainly because, for me, it's really hard not to be biased with this, because we get to know, as I've said, Hammerhal a little bit more. Not only did we have the Kellis and Toll novels for that, this is a very nice addition to the collection, by the way, and I really mean that. It's, for the politics side, fantastic. For the characters in the main conclave, fantastic. Of course, Zane Delorius makes his comeback, which is, it's so good. It's really great. We get to see the, what was his name? Oh, I forgot. The main Pontifex, the one that is above Zenestra. And we get to see Patriarch Mensch, we get to see Matriarch Greenspur, and so many others. I can't remember all the names, I'm sorry, you know me. And it's so good. There are so many characters in here. And usually I'm one of the kind, if there are too many characters, it's just overblown. But these characters are just mentioned in there because they're in the Grand Conclave, they're talking, maybe have one line max, and that's it. So they're just waving while you drive by, and that's basically it. So it's totally fine. We get to see them, we know that they have a role to play in the greater story of Hammerhal. And of course, Aventus Firestrike also has his hey, I'm also here moments, which is kind of funny because everyone sees him in a different light because he's a Stormcast, he sits in the Grand Conclave, and so on. But yeah, Thalia. Thalia is now one of my favorite characters on the Order side, which was really hard to beat because I have a couple of favorite characters, but Thalia is now up there. She's fantastic. Mr. Evan Dicken has written her so good. Not only do we get to know her as she is right now, it's hard to pinpoint when, on which point on the timeline this is. It probably is after the Dawnbringer Crusade. So she went out with the Dawnbringer Crusade with Zenestra and everyone else, but then stuff happened, the Godhide came, she had to get back with 50% of the Dawnbringer Crusade and so on. So I think it's after that. Maybe, I don't know, there is no indication in there or I missed it. Might happen. But yeah, not only do we get to see her how she is right now, but also how she became the first Marshal, how she became the Lioness of the Parch. So we get to see her as she was an orphan with her best friends, how they met one of their political rivals. Basically, let me phrase it like that because I don't want to spoil you. It was really fun to see Thalia and her friends as orphans, how they skulk around and try to steal stuff. Really, really funny. Then we get to see her a little bit later as a mercenary, then as someone in the Free Guild, then someone as with command, then as a marshal, and so on. And every time we get a flashback, it's on a very good spot in the story. Mr. Dicken has this talent in this book to know when to go back in her storyline to show us something which will then evolve into something else in the current storyline, if that makes sense how I try to explain it. And yeah, also we get to know her friends with whom she grows up. Some of them, of course, they die. All the friends together mourn the losses. They meet new people. Those people either retire, they die, or something else. They come back, and so on. It's beautiful. Really, really enjoyed the connections between all the people. It felt genuine. And this is something that I really missed, and I wasn't aware of that. So thank you for that, Mr. Evan Dicken. It was really fun to see how they interacted with each other. Also, the rivalry with Ebonpire, the Chaos Warlord, is great because for me, at first, it was like every Space Marine chapter against, not Shadow Sun, what was the Tau? The one in the red crisis suit and the sword. You know which one I mean. I forgot his name. That one. Because he's writing the anti-codex, because he saw, okay, when we do this, the Space Marines do that, so he's acting with everything to counter the Codex Astartes, which is really fun, even though I love my Space Marines. But yeah, I had the feeling that Ebonpire is doing basically the same, because in her mercenary timeline or as a Free Guild timeline? I forgot. Thalia is the one who basically invents the Castellite formation. So the fun rule that we have with the shields and the fusiliers and everything, and how the Free Guilders march and move and fight and everything, she was the one who invented this. And Ebonpire is the complete mirror of this. he sees this and basically, okay, they react like this when I do this, so we have to do that. It's fantastic. And it's a really nice conclusion at the end. It's so good. I was driving and I was listening to it as an audiobook version as usual. And I was like, holy damn, I wasn't expecting that. It was so good. I had to go back and re-listen to it. It was really, really good. The conclusion between Abumpire and Thalia, because we know that she survives. Come on, she just had a model. But there are so many good things in here. I don't know where to go and what else to tell you, except read it for yourself. It's a really good book. Again, the invention of the Castellites, we get to see from the siege of Helm's Deep in Lord of the Rings, the Two Towers. The Urukai who runs with his matchstick, let me phrase it like this, and jumps into the black powder bomb and explodes all around. We get this, but from the other side, because at one point Thalia also recognizes, hey, the dude, the Chaos Warlord Abumpire, he knows what we're going to do. So we have to 3D, 4D chess all around. And they, of course, find some fanatics, some people who want to die for Sigmar, the Flagellants, and they tell them, okay, we cannot defend the city completely. We are not enough people to man the walls, but we have multiple walls in succession, in increments. It's not Hammerhall, by the way, it's another city. Doesn't really matter which one. So we have black powder here on these walls. You will go there as soon as the Chaos, the Slaves to Darkness people get to the walls, and you will blow them up with yourself. And the Flagellants are like, yep, I'm gonna do that. And so 2, 3, 4 of them run towards the wall and just explode. And that was also really, really funny. Fanaticism. Hooray. But yeah, for whom is this book? First of all, I would mainly say it's for everyone, because it's not only that you get to know a little bit of Akshi. There are way better books to get to know Akshi as a realm more. But for Hammerhall, for the cities of Sigmar, it's a must-have. And I don't say this lightly, because the politics side, there is one character in there who tells Thalia at the end, you have to remember, we're not doing this only for Akshi. We're not only doing everything that we do for Hammerhall. It is for all the realms. It is for all the 8 realms. So also the conflict between Azerites and the Reclaimed is also a little bit tingly in here. Of course, if you're not aware of what the tingling between Reclaimed and Azerites are. The Azerites are basically those who Age of Chaos starts, Sigmar shuts the realm gates. Everyone who's still in Azir, those are the Azerites. As soon as the Age of Sigmar starts, they come back flooding into the realms, build the cities of Sigmar. The Reclaimed are those who got left behind, who had to fight for themselves. And yeah, so they don't really like each other sometimes, and it gets fractious. Let me phrase it like this. So many good things in here. For everyone else, if you're not interested in Cities of Sigmar, if you're not interested in Hammerhall, it's a really good read. I had so much fun in it, and this is another proof that Cities of Sigmar should be the main phase of Age of Sigmar. Not only is it in the name, but also, as much as I like my Stormcast bros, and I don't know, the Cities of Sigmar novels are just better, and to represent just mere mortals fighting against demons, fighting against destruction, fighting against death. It's so much better. And this is, again, I can just say it again, it's so much better. Thalia is fallible, she has mistakes. Her connection to Infernadine, her mount, is beautiful. It took her 8 years to get Infernadine to listen to her, which is also a beautiful, nice detail in here. But yeah, again, even though if you're looking more into, I want to get to know more about Osiak Bone Reapers, or I want to know more about Duardin, whichever kind, I wouldn't fault you. You want to know more about ogres, of course they are not in here. But what this book does, it does really, really well. So I would give this to someone who has no idea about Age of Sigmar. Because yes, there are many, many names in there who wouldn't say, I can give this to a newcomer. Sorry, my brain just turned off there for a moment. I can give this to a newcomer, and the newcomer doesn't care who is Patriarch Mensch, who is Matriarch Greenspur, who is Zane Delorius, what is his role. The newcomer doesn't care that Zane Delorius was in the Dawnbringer campaign, doesn't care about that he was in the short stories. Doesn't matter. The newcomer doesn't care that that Thalia Vedra, that this is her first novel. Doesn't matter. Castellite formation, doesn't matter. It is a really good introduction. And I kinda missed this. This is also something that I missed a little bit in the other novels. Because, yeah, I'm not gonna talk too much. I'm already at the 17-minute mark. I'm giving this book a 9 out of 10 defeated Chaos Warlords by Thalia Vedra, which is not true. She has not that many. But let's just say successful campaigns. 9 out of 10 successful campaigns. That sounds way better. It's really good. I enjoyed it so much. This is something that I could go for as a comfort read. Just like with Lady of Sorrows, just like with God Eater's Son, just like God's Bane. And yeah, I can go back to this. It's really good. There were moments where I just had to chuckle, where I was laughing with the characters, where they were so endearing. It was so good. Yeah, read it. Really good. Lioness of the Parch by Evan Dicken. I can just say good things about this. Why isn't it a 10 out of 10? It, of course, had some flaws. Some of the fight scenes were too long. If you're not aware of that, if this is your first Black Library review, I don't like prolonged fight scenes, but it's fine. It wasn't that bad. There are some other contenders in there that are way more egregious. But yeah, read it. I will end this right now. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I forgot how to do an outro. I'm sorry. I'm tired. Please leave your thoughts and questions in the comment section. I'm keen to know what you have to say. And while you're here, please remember to do all the YouTube stuff, because hitting buttons is not only fun. Why? Because that way we can build a bigger community and talk more wargaming and lore, hopefully 3 times a week, not a day. And by that I of course mean like and subscribe, and if you want you can support me with the links in the description box as well. Otherwise, have a great day my friend, stay fantastic, stay hydrated, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, bye, bye.